What if your next Jeep could drive silently through the city, then conquer brutal off-road trails without using a drop of gas? Welcome back to Legends Auto Future, where we break down the cars Americans actually care about. The 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe isn't just another hybrid SUV. It's Jeep's bold statement that electrification doesn't have to kill adventure. In fact, for many American buyers, this could be the most practical Wrangler ever made. From daily commuting to weekend trails, the 4xe is designed to cover both worlds in a way no traditional Wrangler ever could. Let's start with what makes the 2025 Wrangler 4xe instantly appealing in the US market. It's a plug-in hybrid, which means you get real electric driving for short trips and gas power when you need long-range freedom. For American drivers who commute, run errands, or drive kids to school during the week, the 4xe can operate in full electric mode for most daily use. That means quiet driving, zero tailpipe emissions around town, and noticeably lower fuel costs compared to a standard V6 Wrangler. And when it's time for a road trip or an off-road weekend, the gas engine steps in seamlessly, eliminating range anxiety entirely. Design-wise, Jeep didn't mess with what works. The 2025 Wrangler 4xe still looks like a Wrangler, and that's exactly the point. You get the iconic boxy shape, removable doors, removable roof, exposed hinges, and aggressive stance that Americans instantly recognize. The blue accents and subtle 4xe badging are the only clues that this is something more advanced under the hood. Compared to electric SUVs that try too hard to look futuristic, the Wrangler 4xe keeps its rugged identity, which is a big win for buyers who want tradition with modern tech rather than a total redesign. Where things get really interesting is performance. The Wrangler 4xe combines electric motors with a turbocharged engine to deliver instant torque, something off-road enthusiasts will appreciate immediately. Electric torque at low speeds makes crawling over rocks, mud, or sand smoother and more controlled than a traditional gas-only setup. For US buyers who actually use their Wranglers off-road, this is a real advantage, not a gimmick. Compared to a standard gas Wrangler, the 4xe feels quicker off the line, more responsive in city driving, and surprisingly refined on the highway. On pavement, the electric assistance makes the Wrangler feel more modern than ever. Acceleration is smoother, merging onto highways is easier, and stop-and-go traffic becomes less tiring. If you set for cross-shopping something like a Ford Bronco, or even a mid-size SUV like the Toyota 4Runner, the 4xe stands out by offering a quieter, more efficient daily driving experience without sacrificing capability. Inside, the 2025 Wrangler 4xe takes a noticeable step forward in technology and comfort. The infotainment system is faster, more intuitive, and clearly designed with American drivers in mind. Wireless smartphone integration, a large touchscreen, digital driver displays, and improved materials make the cabin feel less like a bare-bones off-roader and more like a modern SUV. Compared to older Wranglers, road noise is better controlled, and the seating position is more comfortable for long drives, which matters a lot for US buyers who spend hours on highways. Jeep also leaned into smart hybrid tech. You can choose how the vehicle uses its power, whether you want to prioritize electric-only driving, hybrid efficiency, or maximum performance. This flexibility is something many traditional SUVs simply don't offer. For example, compared to a regular hybrid SUV that focuses only on fuel savings, the Wrangler 4xe gives drivers control based on their lifestyle, whether that's city commuting, towing, or trail driving. Ownership is where the Wrangler 4xe really starts to make sense in America. Plug-in hybrids often qualify for incentives and tax credits, depending on location and timing, which can significantly lower the effective cost of ownership. Add in reduced fuel expenses and the proven resale strength of the Wrangler nameplate, and the 4xe becomes a surprisingly smart financial choice. Compared to fully electric SUVs, you don't need to rely entirely on charging infrastructure, and compared to gas-only Wranglers, you'll spend less over time at the pump. Looking ahead, the Wrangler 4xe also feels future-proof. As the US market moves towards stricter emissions rules and more electrified options between 2025 and 2027, this Jeep already fits into that future without forcing buyers to give up what they love. It bridges the gap between old-school adventure and modern responsibility, better than almost any SUV in its class. So the big question is simple. Is the 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe the best all-around Wrangler ever made for American drivers? For many people, the answer might be yes. It's more efficient, more refined, and more versatile than traditional versions, while still delivering the freedom and capability Jeep is famous for. If you live in the US and want one vehicle that can handle daily life, weekend trails, and long road trips without compromise, the Wrangler 4X deserves serious attention. Would you choose the electric-assisted Wrangler 4X, or do you still prefer a traditional gas-powered off-road SUV? Let us know what you think. Subscribe for more future cars and auto content on Legends Auto Future.